வாழ்க வளமுடன். Be blessed by the divine. Signs of Kundalini awakening from my personal experience. In 1984, I learned Kundalini meditation with Yogiraj Sri Vethathiri Maharishi's Sky Yoga system. I was in college at that time. I met this professor in Coimbatore. I sat down and he purified the environment around me and purified my body and soul by waving his hands over my body as if he was passing on some energy throughout my body. I felt as if a gentle breeze was touching me. Perhaps it was his hands that were moving close to my body. I wouldn't know at that time. He then came around me, touched my Muladhara chakra, and gently raised his hands along the spine and brought his hands around my head and touched my Ajna chakra. As soon as he touched my Ajna chakra, I felt a gentle pressure building up in between my eyebrows. He touched it a few more times, and I could start to feel a gentle, feeble, beautiful pulsation of my life force in between the eyebrows at the Ajna chakra. Somehow it felt as if I was in a different plane of existence altogether. I felt I was beginning to levitate. Physically, I was still present in that room. Mentally, it felt as if I was flying. I was able to concentrate on my life force pulsation for about a few seconds at a time. Every now and then, my mind will waver from the pulsation to something else. The professor would touch my Ajna chakra and my concentration will come back to focusing on the life force. He told me that my Kundalini is awakened at the end of the meditation. He wanted me to meditate twice a day for 6 or 7 days. Once the energy levels go beyond my capacity to withstand, he wanted me to come back. Specifically, he told me that I may have some headache or head spinning, or I may have some heaviness in my forehead, and at that time I should come back and learn Shanti meditation. I religiously followed his instructions. Once I was back in my college hostel, I would do my meditation twice a day. How did it feel, you may ask? Things felt as though I was in a completely different dimension of existence. This was not a crisis. It was not a dangerous situation. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was peaceful. It made me feel happy. It made me feel confident. I felt I was a renewed human being at that time. I felt there was harmony all around me. It was indeed a beautiful sensation to have. There was no sound, there was no smell, there was no light, and there was no taste involved in this Kundalini awakening experience of mine. It was purely a pressure sensation, a pulsation in between my eyebrows. It wasn't a major rush of energy. My body was not shaking. There were no visual disturbances. I was able to relax. I had no anxiety. I had no depression. I wasn't in any kind of despair. There was no earthquake. There was no tsunami. There was no earth-shattering experience that I had. I felt I had the courage and the willingness to try new things. The intensity of the newfound self-confidence was quite apparent to my friends, I must say. My eyes were beginning to shine. My face was beginning to shine. I was able to think clearly. There were no miracles. There were quite a few coincidences. What I thought was beginning to manifest slowly and gently without causing harm for anyone. I started acquiring new friends. I started experiencing new pleasant experiences. I felt I was able to attract positivity all around me. I wasn't oversensitive to external things such as food and media and people and places, but my consciousness began to improve. My awareness began to improve. I felt my mind was controlling my physical sensations. The obsession of any kind was going away from me slowly but surely. My emotions were beginning to come under my control. My intuition was beginning to develop. My inner truth was beginning to envelop me and beginning to lead me in a new path of awakening, the spiritual awakening. I felt I was becoming my own healer by becoming aware of what I was doing at that moment and learning the skills to take care of myself. As I was doing my sadhana every day, practice every day, I knew I was having the tool that would lead me to inner transformation and actually heal and evolve as a better human being. I experienced increased compassion, desire to be of service to other living beings and other human beings, and a recognition of oneness with all life forms and all non-living forms began to develop in me. As I became more aware of myself, I became more aware of the world around me. My compassion for myself led to compassion for others. I woke up to the suffering of others because my heart has been opened and I felt it more intensely. It naturally led to a desire to help, to give to others the help we have received along the way. The age-old truth of interconnectedness of all beings became an inner knowing instead of just a thought. Knowledge had become wisdom through my experience, and over the years I desired to use my wisdom and compassion in the service to others. As I learnt Shanti meditation at the Muladhara chakra, I felt a closer connection to Mother Earth that supports us and gives us a way of living on this planet. I no longer turned away when I saw injustice or environmental degradation. As I practiced self-care, I acted to protect and preserve what was sacred to all of us human beings. A sense of purpose and destiny began to grow in me as my Kundalini awakening led me to Duriya Chakra, the Sahasrara Chakra. The master of Kundalini Yoga, Yogiraj Sri Vethathiri Maharishi, called it the destiny or the gateway to Brahma. I worked myself to heal my past. The tools that Swamiji gave me in the form of Kundalini Yoga, Kayakalpa Yoga, simplified physical exercises, and introspection helped me to heal my past and gave me a set of tools to clear the energy in my body on a regular basis. And I made a connection to what was dear to my heart and my soul. I took it upon myself as my destiny to find heaven inside me, and I continue to work to preserve the heaven inside me and communicate the joy of having found heaven inside me to all my fellow human beings. May the Almighty Force always be there with you. Thank you for being a source of inspiration for me. Be blessed by the Divine.